Okay guys, we're going to go a little bit over the Kraken. So there is some voltage drop. This is the Kraken clone by Tobeco. There are some voltage drops with not the original, I'm not sure about that, but with some of the other ones as well. But here's a breakdown. You have the inner tube, but you do need to make sure that this ring on both sides is covering both ends, so this cannot touch the outside material here. Also, what you want to do is look down inside this tube and make sure that there's any debris that might need to be cleaned out. For instance, like this one has a piece of metal from it being drilled out of it. See that little piece right there? That could very well be grounding out the casing on the back side to my unit. And that very well could cause you to lose voltage. Get rid of that. So just run your finger around inside. Be careful because it is metal that is drilled out. It might have some rough edges. Alright, so you've checked that. You put that back in. The other thing that you want to go through, obviously you want to make sure that your button's in good shape. It has an outer ring here that goes over here. This is actually a reducing bushing is what we called it in the electronic world. What I would recommend is clean these up really good, make sure there's no oil or any kind of residue left on it, since this will be making the good contact for you. So that goes right in there and that holds that tube in place. So you would unscrew this, pull out the tube, and then screw this back in to hold the tube in place. Button, you just want to make sure that it's throwing well. There's not much of a throw on this, so I actually like the button on here. But it's good. I've got a good connection. This is not loose. But none of these were really the issue, but these are things that you could take a look at. But the issue that I found for the voltage drop was actually right here. If you happen to have one of these, take a look. This button may not be sitting out like that. It's probably going to be sitting stuck in, something like that. That's how I found mine, and I was going, wow, that does not leave a lot of room for connection. And at first I thought this little white cap, let me get back here and center it again. At first I thought this little white cap right here pried off, and it doesn't. You just take your fingers and unscrew this just like that. And then you'll find a brass pin here and a brass pin here, and in between it you'll find this spring, which is really a POS spring. So you can see that. There you go. Now notice on my spring there's some discoloration here in the middle. That discoloration can actually reduce the amount of voltage being carried through. Oop. That discoloration right there could cause a voltage drop. And the fact that this wire is so small that's being used for the spring concerns me. So what's the fix? Go to your local locksmith shop and get 2 springs. These are standard springs used for Schlage locks. They're brass springs. You can even use springs out of a, if you have a locksmith buddy, you can even use the brass springs for an IC core kit. It may cost you a whole 10 cents, it may cost you $1, but it's not going to cost you much of anything. I would assume most locksmith shops would be like, yeah, sure, I got 2 springs for you. But just run in there and say, hey, can I get 2 brass springs that y'all use for your locks when you key them up? And they'll hand you something that looks like these. The thing about these is they're thicker material and they keep their spring better. So what I did is I took these two springs, laid them on top of one another evenly, and then just pressed them into each other, creating, and then just kind of roll it around, one big spring with lots of wires. The more wire we can get in between those 2 points, the better, because this is going to carry our current. So you got your head here. We're going to drop that right in the groove. First we need to put these springs inside the original springs. So now we've got mucho spring. Put that right inside the head there. Take the bottom, start off with it flat in your hand and just rotate it on top, and then just screw in that plastic piece, and that should respond real nicely now. And that 1 to 2 volts that you've lost, you're going to get it back. Alright guys, there's a fix for the hammer. If you got it, don't throw it away. It's fixable. You can get that voltage back and recover. If anybody else has any other problems with this particular unit, Tobeco Clone, let me know so I could try to figure out another fix. So after the fix, it's good.